In this video, we're going to graph exponential functions with transformations. It'd be helpful if you brought graph paper for this. And I'm going to do the odds, you'll be doing the evens. So, you should have already watched the other video on basic exponential functions, and I did do a few transformations. So we're going to start with 37, and 37 is f of x equals 2x plus 1. So we're going to use the graph of y equals 2 to the x and shift it up by 1. So here we go. We're going to graph shift it up by 1 from here. Whoops, I wrote this down wrong. Alright, so this is 2x plus 1. Sorry about that. So we're shifting it up by 1. That means my horizontal asymptote is y equals 1. And my domain is all real numbers. It's all reals. My range is y, but y has to be bigger than 0, or has to be actually bigger than 1. Or you could write it as 1, 0, 1 comma infinity. Okay. And the horizontal asymptote is y equals 1. So basically we're just graphing what we did before, but we're just shifting everything up by 1. So my new y-intercept is at 0, 2. And I'm just going to plot 1 will go to 3. So this is 1, 3. And negative 1 is 3/2. So negative 1 is about 3/2. So basically it's right there, and it would look like this. Alright, something like that. This negative 1 goes to 3/2. Okay. Alright. Next one is 39. We have f of x equals 3 to the negative x minus 2. So we're going to use the graph of y equals 3 to the x, and because it's negative x, we're going to reflect it over or about the y-axis. Alright, so my new horizontal asymptote is y equals negative 2 because we're shifting it down by 2. So there's the horizontal asymptote. We're reflecting it. Negative 1 is going to go to 1. 0 goes to negative 1. And 1 goes to negative 5/3. Okay, and you just graph it like this. Something like that. So main thing, it reflected over the y-axis, and you just change your, you can do a table of values. The domain is all real numbers. The range is y such that y is bigger than negative 2. It can't equal negative 2 because we have a horizontal asymptote at y equal negative 2. Or you can write it as negative 2 to infinity. Alright. 41 is f of x equals 2 plus 3 times 4 to the x. Alright, so basically we're going to use the graph y equal 4 to the x and then do the transformations. We're going to stretch it vertically by a factor of 3. This is your vertical stretch. And we're going to shift it up by 2. So we shift this whole thing up by 2. And it's a bit of a stretch. So we're going to go 0 to 5 here. 0 from here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is going to go to 14, which is way up in here. And negative 1 is going to go to, I'll just do a table down here. So 0 goes to 5, 1 goes to 14, and negative 1 goes to 11 over 4. And you're going to graph it. Go to 0 to 5, and it's going to be like that. Because it's a stretch. Okay, so the domain is all real numbers. The range is y such that y is less than 1. Wait. The range is y, is bigger than, this is y equals 2, right? So it's bigger than 2. And your horizontal asymptote is y equals 2. And this was 41. Okay, the next one is going to be 43. 43 is basically the same thing. So let's as the others. Let's look at some of the e's. Let's go to 45. 45 we have f of x equals e to the negative x. So we're going to use the graph y equals e to the x to do the transformations. We already know what that looks like. Basically, we're just going to reflect it about the y. And if you do a little table of values here, you're going to get 0 goes to 1, 1 goes to 1 over e, which is 2, remember e is 2.718. Negative 1 goes to e, and negative 2 would be 7.39. So let's go 0, 1, go down in here. Negative 1 goes to e, so that's 2.79, and it's just something like this. Alright? So in that case, the domain is all reals. The range is y, but y has to be less than 0. Whoops. And it has a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. 47, we have a horizontal shift for e. So we're shifting everything over by 2. We're shifting it to the left by 2. So basically we use e to the x and we just shift everything over by 2. And we already did this in another video. So I'm just going to put some negative 3 would go to 1 over e. Negative 2 goes to 1. Negative 1 goes to e. And 0 goes to 7.39. So I'm going to go to use these right here. Negative 2 goes to 1. Negative 1 goes to e. And it's just going to get closer and closer like this. Something like that. Okay, so the domain is all reals. The range is y, such that y is bigger than -1. Wait. So y is bigger than 0. And the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. Okay. Now 49, we have f of x equals 5 minus e to the negative x. So we're going to reflect this about the y-axis, and we're also going to reflect it about the x-axis, and we're going to shift up by 5. So I know I have a horizontal asymptote at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The horizontal asymptote. 0 is going to go to 4. And so I'm just going to kind of draw it here. Something like that. I reflected it twice. My domain is all reals, but my range is y, where y is less than 5. And my horizontal asymptote is y equals 5. Okay. And 51, you can do the same thing. It's kind of basically the same thing. And that's basically how you transform them. You just use a table of values and plug in some values and kind of get a general idea of what it looks like.